Once again, Shoot the Messenger. Geez, my hair's in my face. Okay, Shoot the Messenger podcast. AJ here with Kendra. Welcome to the show, everybody.
Greetings.
We made it to Saturday. Yay!
The weekend.
Thank you for joining us. We got a big show, lots of topics. But first, let's get a little personal. My name is AJ. This is Kendra. This is our weekly podcast. We've done a lot of broadcasting in the past, and this is where our show has ended up right now.
Every Saturday.
Via the platforms. Catch us now. Twitch, YouTube, Spotify, iTunes, we're there.
Also on our website, shootthemessenger.net.
See, she's always got more tricks in the bag. That's what I like about her. All right, so first off, Kendra, how are you?
I am excellent.
Okay.
I had a very good week between finding out that I've been cast in a gala performance, which
me too.
Also found out about.
The Me Too movement's real. We both got cast in it.
Yeah.
Why don't you throw me in on that one? Why'd you leave me out?
Because I wanted you to share with the audience.
You're already sharing. Just share it. They don't need to hear it twice.
So we got cast in that, so I'm really excited about that.
Yeah, it's going to be a variety show. A lot of song, a lot of dance in the city of Traverse City, and it's a big gala. It's a big gala. It's a big event. So we're going to be doing that.
Support your local theater.
Right. What else you been up to?
Work.
Work. Okay, cool. Yeah, I know. I knew that you were trying to, you had a few interviews this week, some different things going on.
I did.
Should we get into it? Let's hold that.
Nothing to share yet. So we will see.
We will see. Well, when you get ready to share with us, we'll go ahead. But also, Kendra, I want to say that you were spotted at the gym this week. Congratulations on getting your workout on here. There we go. Look at that. Yes. It's good form. And what we're seeing here is this lady basically using these, I don't know, what is it, lat pull downs?
Oh, yeah. It's like a resistance trainer or whatever.
Well, yeah,
right?
They got weights on the side and she's using it as some sort of fly mechanism. You wanted to take aerial.
I do want to take aerial, but I don't think that's an aerial machine.
That is not how you're supposed to use that. It's always cool. She's like hitting her heel up to that pole there. Like it's like, bing. That's how I know I did one.
I did it right. Bing.
Yeah. What do you think about that? Is this why you're scared of working out?
Yes.
In a gym?
That is one of the reasons. Absolutely. I feel embarrassed for all female kind. Like, don't go
for her? Like,
yeah.
What if she's actually doing something that's like really real? Like she's getting her back and her lats. What she's doing is like, I love this machine too, because you can actually grab both sides of it, bring it down and get like the good pec workout, brah, you can go one side at a time, you can even like release it and get your outer. But, it's original, and I like it. I like original.
Yeah.
Good job at the gym this week, Kendra. Great job.
Definitely not me.
That. Yeah. As for me, this is the final week for the program. You're a good man, Charlie Brown. The parents have been super pleased. Big crowd last night. It's all about the kids just getting out there and learning what it is to perform and kind of learning those traits, and then having a good show is kind of the cherry on top, right?
Well, and in my experience watching the shows, what you've really done with the kids is show them how to learn, how to have a growth mindset and continue to improve, because they've always continued to improve. They're still improving.
Speaking of continuing to improving, maybe a little bit more frightening, MIT. Now, you always see these robots they come out with. The more sentient, Boston Logics, they got the one that can basically do a backflip.
Yeah, the big one.
Yeah, it can do like gymnastics and stuff. But this is the little, the mini cheetah, the MIT mini cheetah. And now it's able to actually fully flip on its own. Let's see, let's get a full shot of this here. Oh, gotcha. Boom. Kick it. It's got a GoPro on front. But these things are kind of terrifying. I mean, this is...
Well, I think this one's kind of cute. The big ones are terrifying.
It's
but this
cute
one looks a
until you
little
put
adorable.
Machine gun on it. Sort of launcher. It's fine. Look at they're coming a long way with the, automation, right? Balance and orientation. Look how this thing can move. It seems... And backflip.
And the backflip.
It can backflip. The first time they programmed it, there it is out on the lawn, in the leaves. It's cute now till you arm them with guns, and then it's not going to be any fun. I don't know about that. I just have fun with it. I like to see the advancements in robotics and the latest in animatronics. And we've kind of been following this throughout our entire radio careers.
Well, and they say that
Look at this pass out. Wait, I'm so sorry. Go ahead. They say what?
the mini cheetah will not be available for sale. But they do have another consumer. So this is specifically a research project, so you won't be able to buy the mini cheetah. But they are working on a different project that has similar skills and and it's more consumer friendly, and that they are hoping they will be able to sell in the future. So you can have your own little animatronic dog type creature.
Good. I want one. I don't have to, have an animal you don't have to feed, or you can go on vacations. It'll be fine.
Well, what's the point of it doing a backflip? Like, just because it looks cool?
Well,
just to say
show
that we did.
its dexterity, to show its nimbleness. But didn't we have those little dogs as a child that you'd flip the switch on the bottom, the little puppies, and they would do the backflip? Well, it's doing it by itself now, right?
Exactly.
Little puppies, reminding me of my childhood. And speaking of childhood, these young girls doing what you kind of did a lot in your childhood, visiting the forest.
Specifically following a deer trail.
Okay. Did you do that?
A lot. A lot. You just see the trails and it's human shaped. You're a little person, and the deer you fit perfectly in those deer trails.
They were lost for 44 hours. They're okay. They survived drinking water out of little berry or little collections of leaves and stuff like that.
Off the leaves, the huckleberry bushes
Did you ever
they were
do that?
hiding in. No, I was never lost in an emergency situation like that.
My grandpa taught me that one. We were walking. He's like, you can suck the dew out of these plants. You see, that comes up and you can just drink it. It's fresh water. Yeah, so he showed me that one. But let's go into a little bit about your childhood and what happened with these girls here.
Well,
did you ever get lost?
No, because I was always near the river. So as long as you know where you are next to the river, you usually know your orientation in regards to where you are. So I was usually walking around the river. I was walking near the bridges. So I knew all the trails. It was all places that I'd known from the time I was very, very small.
This happened in Richardson Grove State Park. So I got the map here, California. You got Los Angeles, and you can see it's in Humboldt County, way, way north up here. Richardson State Park, Humboldt, known for its marijuana growing. Humboldt County in general, yeah, for sure, absolutely. I lived out in California; it's a real deal. So you can see how north it is, right? It's got the right topographics.
Yeah, it looks kind of empty out there compared to.
Yeah, so they're lost in this. It doesn't look like the biggest state park, but that still covers a lot of land. Now, what happened with these girls? Do you have any details on these? How they survived?
Well, what had happened is they had followed that deer trail and they realized that they had become lost. And what they did is they decided to stay put, which is actually what you're recommended to do. If you realize that you don't know where you are in the forest, you just stop where you are. Don't move until you think until actually you're positive you know what direction you want to move in. So the girls stayed put. They drank that fresh water from the huckleberry leaves.
Sorry.
And 44 hours later, some volunteers found some footprints, boot prints specifically, around 8:30 on March 3rd. And about 2 hours later, the team was calling out the girls' names, and the girls emerged from the bushes.
It's good to know they're unscathed. They were quite hungry when they found them. But look at all these California Office of Emergency Service, all these agencies involved. I would say there's probably about 30 agencies: El Dorado County, Placer County, Del Norte County. And it's just one of these things you hear about. Two girls go missing and you think the worst, and it's a happy ending. It's a good news story, and this happened this week. So good to see that those girls are going back home, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. And the U.S. Forest Service did, like I said, there were a few things that you should do if you do get lost in the forest.
Okay.
One of them is staying put. Also finding fresh water. So make sure you have a nearby fresh water source. The girls got their water from the huckleberry leaves.
This is from the U.S. Forest Service?
Yes, U.S. Forest Service.
All right, this is official then. So stay by water, stay put. You're not supposed to go around, huh?
Yeah, so the first rule is stop.
Oh.
First rule is as soon as you realize you may be lost, be lost.
For a second.
Stop. Panic is your greatest enemy, so they tell you to just chill out. And then the second step is think. So think about where you are, where you're located. Do you have an idea of where you are? And they say, don't move. If you don't know where you want to go, don't move. Just stay where you are.
Is that good life advice, do you think? Or should you always push forward?
I think you should always take risks and push forward in life.
I think it's good forced advice, bad life advice.
Exactly.
Staying put. Always move forward. Okay, all right, got you.
And then they say observe. They do say that in some instances you might be able to follow a drainage or a stream downhill, those water sources, like I said. But again, they recommended that that's risky, so it's safer for you to stay put, which is what these little girls did and saved their lives.
It's kind of like the opposite for life. If you aren't lost, stay put. If you're lost, keep going. I guess, right? In life. Opposite of U.S. Forest Service, what to do if lost. So the key things to take away, drink some fresh water. You know, as the forests deplete, it's hard to get lost in, you know, the wilderness, true wilderness, you know, finding it. The upper peninsula of Michigan, they have a good wilderness. Colorado, there's mountainous places, of course, that are desolate, but it's really hard to find true wilderness in our state, you know, enough to where it would, you know, have a huge manhunt here. Or kid hunt. I don't know what you call it when they're... Yeah. Manhunt sounds like they're fugitives.
Well, and the smaller they
Caroline
are,
and Leah.
the easier it is for you to lose track of them, too. So small children like this, I mean, a small forest or a small park, you know, it's not hard for kids to just disappear. You know, when it's adults like our age, we're more likely to see the signs of like, oh, people are walking over there or whatever, and we'd be able to figure it out. But it's certainly...
Been around some adults, I don't even know, you know? All right, let's move on, shall we?
But you do know about Tex, eh?
Texas. Yeah, well, Tex, what is this, a steer?
Yes.
This is a
steer.
Okay, so Tex loves his ball here. This is the next story. And, you know, it's a workout ball. He's playing with it. He loves it. And it kind of just brought a smile to the whole internet's face this week. Look at that.
That's a barbed wire fence. That's a rubber ball.
He's pushing.
It's inflated.
For the listeners, he's pushing a giant exercise ball that's inflated. And he's hitting it with his very big horns. And he's pushing it towards a barbed wire fence. You can hear the gentleman calling out. Let's watch. What happens to the ball? Does it make it? Does he make it? Tex loves his ball.
I'm sorry.
Oh, it doesn't make it.
I'm so sorry, buddy.
He's trying to hit it while it's deflated.
Maggie, come here.
He's trying to hit it with his horns. Wake up, ball. It's all deflated. But good news from the internet. Tex got a new ball. He became internet famous this week.
Bring it back to me,
and he got a fresh new ball to play with. So plenty of balls for Tex.
Good news story.
Yeah, I thought it was a great little palate cleanse here as we move through this, because the next one is like, you know, the fall of brick and mortars continues. Family Dollar closing 400 stores. Now, I'm not
Cybersecurity.
I'm not familiar with the dollar stores in general. Some of them sell things for $1, and some of them have dollar in the name, but they don't sell it for $1.
Right.
They just round to the dollar. Or whatever.
Yeah. That's Dollar General is the misleading one.
See, you're always just a bundle of information. I like it. Okay, so Dollar General is the misleading one.
Yeah. They're if I'm remembering correctly, they're actually a part of the Walmart brand.
Okay, really?
So Dollar General, they'll just round up to the nearest dollar, which is why they have dollar in the name. It's Dollar Tree that sells things for only $1.
Right. Dollar Tree. I see it right here. And they actually bought out the dollar stores. Dollar Tree bought Family Dollar in 2015 for $8.5 billion. Family Dollar has struggled, and Dollar Tree stock price has slipped since the deal. So Dollar Tree is overpaid. Oh, they overpaid for Family Dollar, they say. So this is good news, bad news for Family Dollar. Good news for Dollar Tree, I guess, right? Dollar Tree is doing very, very good, that Dollar Tree brand.
Well, they did say that they have an aggressive plan to address the growth and the slow growth that Family Dollar has had. So they certainly have a plan. And with the closing of the stores, there's a pretty good chance that they'll have that'll help them balance their budget a little bit.
Oh, Dollar General. Discount competitor Dollar General has more than 15,000 stores across the country. Is that a sign of the times, you think? Like that discount stores, that they're so popular? 15,000 stores.
There was an article, I wish I had it in front of me, but they were talking about how Dollar Generals are popping up in rural areas, like where I grew up, actually. The first school that I attended, they now have a Dollar General in that town because it's
So Family Dollar, Dollar Tree, Dollar General are the main branches. I'm finally getting it. See, I told you I wasn't versed on this. So Dollar General is the one that's doing great.
Yes, Dollar General is doing fantastic.
They say they're going to start selling groceries too.
Yes, I mean, depending upon where you go, you can already get some of your basic groceries inside of a Dollar General, and that's why they're expanding to these poorer rural areas, because those poorer areas don't attract businesses like Walmart or other large chain brands.
Right.
But these dollar stores, Dollar General in particular, is finding a market there because people need necessities.
They do. And for cheap nowadays.
Yes.
They need necessities on cheap. No longer a Walmart, but cheaper than Walmart. Things like that. I mean, people used to go to Walmart for the cheap prices. Oh, I have to shop here. Can't shop at the mom and pop. Need the lower prices.
Yes.
And now it's even lower, going to Family Dollar, Dollar General,
From what
Dollar
I
Tree.
saw, actually, these Dollar Generals are coming in where the mom and pop shops have already closed.
Yeah.
I mean, there aren't any mom and pop shops because they've all run out of business with the people.
Do you shop at the dollar store? Do you like them? I never had good luck there. I mean, a few things, pick and choose. I got some sponges, but then you go to the other store and like, oh, these sponges are $1. Like,
Yeah.
I didn't get a deal. You know,
Exactly.
So, you know, some food. Oh, what's the expiration date on this food? You know,
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just you got to check it. I don't know. Check your stuff.
Shop around is always the rule, right, for the best deals. And so it's all about how much time you want to spend on shopping.
I've been working on my facial hair. We just auditioned for a thing. I might have to cut it. This is my segue into the next topic.
Yes.
This is how we do it.
I like it.
The mustache that took the Indians by storm this week, and we're just the messengers here, people. What is it called, Kendra?
Abahadadan.
Yeah, come on.
Abinahadadan.
No, shoot.
Abinhanadan.
Abinhanadan. Anyway, so what's the story behind this guy? This guy was a fighter. He was captured by the Pakistanis. His plane was shot down. And now he's a trendsetter, a mustache trendsetter. This is the new fashion in India. Take a look. I'm thinking about cutting it myself. This guy. So what you got is the handlebar mustache, and then you have the Nike swooshes on the side. You know, you forget about the sideburns, right? We don't have any of these sideburns. We just leave it to the swooshes. Man, I was so gonna cut this today for the show, but you know what? We'll wait.
Yeah,
we'll
yeah.
wait.
Chill just a little bit.
And so many people, even though this guy, they call him a hero, but he was shot down.
Well, apparently it was the Pakistani and Indian people that both loved his just chill demeanor, and in particular, an image of him sipping tea as like a captor. It went viral in the communities, which is why people found the mustache and they loved it so much.
Look at that mustache, though. I love it. I'm going to full screen it for you people watching via YouTube and Twitch. Look at that mustache, man. That is glorious. Could it be a new trend? The hard part for me is growing right here, right where the mustache meets the side
road.
of the chin, you know, to get the full Fu Manchu effect. Right when it starts going down the chin. That long handlebars, and then you got the Nike swoosh on the side. Let's take a look of other Indians who have donned the Abhinadan. Anyway, here we go. Look at this guy. He's got it. He's looking great in his, athletic wear. This guy sports the aviators and the Abhinadan.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, and the Persians have such great thick facial hair. It's so easy for them to emulate this. And one of the guys was even like, he was like, "Oh, I just decided I wanted it done." Well, he probably has to go to a barber all the time.
Yes, probably.
Might as well just go ahead and get the new fad.
I would say so.
It became so popular. There was actually an advertisement.
Oh, really?
Yes, about it translated to, "Without a mustache, you don't have anything." And the ad ends with a schoolgirl with a milk stash.
And, as if it wasn't famous enough, added to Wiki's facial hair, Wikipedia's list of facial hairs, there it is. Number 1, starts with an A, second letter's a B, Abhinanadan. We could get it right, we just choose not to. Somewhat of a mixture of a gunslinger mustache and mutton chops. Number 1 on the list.
It looks pretty slick. I mean, I will admit.
Super slick. Let's take a ganders at some of these other facial hairs real quick. You have the chin curtain made popular by Abraham Lincoln. But there it is. It's first on the list because of the AB scenario.
Exactly.
Wow. It's official, people. If it's on Wiki, you know it's true, right? Just like my college term papers. Splaining memes. Let's get to memes.
Meme.
Okay.
Don't
shoot the messenger. Don't shoot. I mean, you know what? This is for adults, okay? Kids, turn it off.
This is a friendly reminder that this is not a child-appropriate show, especially when we get into the Internet of Things.
Yeah, I just worry about like terrestrial radio when I did that, and nothing I say could be any kind of you can't swear, right? You can't say the 7 different words and stuff like that. Here we can, and we're gonna cover it right now because I want you to know. If you don't know, now you know, right? Okay, so this is called Dick Butt. Okay. Okay, so now you know it's Dick Butt. Okay, where did Dick Butt originate? This is something that's popping around the interwebs since 2014, I think it was.
It is an older meme. It's certainly been
super
around the
old
block.
meme. It's basically a hand-drawn version of a dick and a butt. I bet it's combined.
Dick with a butt and a dick in the butt. It's Dick Butt.
But it's a comic. I mean, it's got a face and it's got a funny little thing. The original comic that posted Dick Butt is this. The comic is called Tree. I think it was posted in 2014. And the comic goes, Tree, you've been so good to us. All that air and paper you give us, that stuff's great. Well, you don't think you've been taking too much and giving so little.
Like a Lorax figure.
Yeah, and then it says, gosh, Lorax, you might be right. Blah. And then he says, I promise, Tree, I will not let a single piece of paper made from you go to waste. And what do? They draw Dick Butt. Thus, the meme was born 2014. Now, or maybe, I think it was earlier. Man, the origins of Dick Butt, I think it actually goes back to, did I say 2014?
You did.
2006. Yikes,
Wow.
AJ. I was way off. So it's been around a while. So if you don't know, and this is the first time you're hearing Dick Butt, or you're offended, it's been around since 2006, and this is kind of like, you should know what Dick Butt is. Now, we have different versions of Dick Butt. It eventually spread, went to 4chan. You have Batman here drawing some important things. They say, sir, a message from Batman. And what do they get?
Dick Butt.
They get.
Some of them are a little bit more My Little Pony-esque.
Right.
Some of them are GIFs.
This GIF adaptation is great. You know, those paintings where they paint and then they throw sand at it on the end and it, comes down and it's a beautiful portrait of something you didn't know, or they flip it upside down.
Cool.
Well, this guy throws it up and it's, Dick Butt. That's what we're talking about.
Wow.
Dick Butt.
Dick Butt.
Yeah. Even Line Rider got in the case, line writing all the way through Dick Butt. So I thought we should cover it. It's one of the basis of memes. We continue to cover the memes, and as weird as they are, I think people should be informed about the origins of some of these memes and what they are, so they're not out of the loop.
Yeah.
We want informed listeners.
It never hurts to just know what the internet is up to, even if it's fun and silly. Be a part of something.
Last week we got a copyright strike for the very last thing we did.
I didn't check what it was that we got.
It was the song. It was
the song.
It was Pink Floyd. We played Pink Floyd last week, or not Pink Floyd, but a cover of it, and they demonetized us, as it were. But anyway, we'll probably get demonetized for this Dick Butt. But 10 hours of Dick Butt. You can go ahead and listen to that yourself. Of course, all the links we do today will be in the description via our YouTube page, so you can check that out. I'll post all the links that we use today. And it's time, Kendra.
Time for what?
It's time for Elon Musk. Time for your musky moment. Elon, SpaceX having a great week. Although Elon has had a rough week. Let's start with SpaceX first. The Dragon rocket on the Falcon 9 rocket and the Dragon capsule going in, docking with the ISS. This is how we left you last week with the launch. Of course, the launch went well. A couple days later, they docked with the ISS. Here you see the docking taking place here. Perfectly. That's crazy. In so much space, you got to line up through time and space. The perfect lineup. In it goes, locks,
I was
collects.
surprised by how much like Star Wars it looks like, with the grid and the X and lining everything up. It looked very much like the final scenes in Star Wars.
Here you have the inside the Dragon X capsule. This is Ripley, kind of testing the G-forces, temperatures, pressures, and making sure it's safe for humans. And this thing, I think it's like they call them celestial buddies. They're the plush toys that are like the Earth, Mars, and stuff like that. That's a play. A celestial buddy. I don't know what they're trying to sell there, but there you go. So they sent one of those up, some supplies, some food for the astronauts, and then of course the Dragon rocket came down the Earth. A few moments later, boom, releasing the parachutes. Now, originally the Dragon capsule, the reason for its name, I do believe, is the incredible fire that was supposed to land with rockets, just like the other rockets, right? So that's why it's a Dragon cap. So it would shoot rockets out the bottom, and that's how it land. They might still use these kind of things for like moon landings, but of course we see 4 parachutes here. So they dulled it down. Pretty intense. I mean, a safer way to go with like a bunch of parachutes, right?
Yeah, I would think so.
Less room for error.
Quickly about the celestial buddies, you think it's anything like the cow and Gone in 60 Parsecs?
I think that joke is too deep for anybody to get, but the cow in 60 parsecs was
Gone in 60 Parsecs. It was like a little totem, a
godlike.
like.
Yeah, you could bring it to other planets and worship.
Yeah, it kept you sane when you were going a little crazy.
Hey, what a great game! If you like story-made games, Gone in 60 Parsecs is basically like you choose your own adventure, and then they give you a page of text. You read that, you choose what they do next, and it's pretty fun. 60 secs or 60 parsecs. Continuing on with Elon Musk, Tesla. Kind of asleep at the wheel lately. Oh, you like that pun?
I do.
Here we see this footage of a guy going down the highway in California, it appears to be, just knocked out in his Tesla as they cruise down the road.
Mouth hanging open and everything.
He trusts the autopilot in Tesla. How does he? You're supposed to have a hand on the wheel. I think he like just had it down. Maybe he's just memeing.
Maybe.
I don't know. But Tesla shareholders not happy this week. Of course, Elon Musk doing a barrage of tweets. Contempt of court they want to put him in. The shareholders from Yahoo Finance, we have an article here. They say there's potentially billions in it if they sue Elon. So he's kind of in hot water with his tweets. Of course, the SEC told him that he had to have regulations on his tweets, be overviewed by a board, and Elon doesn't respect the SEC, so he doesn't do that. Now, this is Elon's personal Twitter that he's tweeting on.
Mm-hmm.
Let's note that Tesla has its own Twitter that they post on. So Elon wants to post stuff about Tesla in his own Twitter account. I kind of think, geez, I'm an advocate of freedom of speech, wouldn't you think? So I think that's okay as long as Tesla, they are not posting things like that, you know?
Exactly. It's not like it's an official statement from the company. And
Right.
I think that people have begun to realize Elon Musk, though he is an inventor and a brilliant man, his deadlines are he doesn't always make great estimations about when he's going to be done with something or a project idea because come on, guys, he's an inventor. He's a creative. This isn't an official statement from Tesla.
Yeah.
But it does strike me as them wanting to censor him, which I'm not in favor of.
This is the tweet that got him into trouble right here. Tesla made 0 cars in 2011, but will make around 500K in 2019. So he has a picture of 4,000 Tesla cars loading into San Francisco for Europe. And so he tweets this, and it is optimistic. They might, get around 500,000, more like 400,000 they're talking about. It depends how you want to count the cars. So I don't know, man. I just think it's so tiny to, I think they're just so quick to catch him on anything. And I don't want to be Elon fanboy. I'm a fan of Elon because I think he pushes every week, and this is why we cover him every week, because he continues to innovate and create headlines. Now, they're saying that this article from Yahoo Finance, it says there's potentially billions of dollars for Tesla shareholders, right? So possibly, with the suing and with these people filing complaints, which hasn't even been opened yet. They're going to open it Tuesday and find out exactly what this law firm is complaining about. Yeah.
Well, and I'm never a big fan of sue happy individuals, and the desire to immediately go to a lawsuit in order to address a problem. And so I am not in favor of the shareholders' response to any of this. And I'm also not in favor of censorship, period.
The Laborers District Council and Contractors Pension Fund of Ohio. They are a Tesla shareholder. So they're the ones that are filing the lawsuit. So yeah, I think Tuesday they're going to find out actually what is in that, if there's anything else besides this tweet. Let's take a quick look at Tesla stocks, and they're kind of on the up right now, right? Trading today, going up. Trading's very good for Tesla. They're going to be introducing a new Model Y SUV coming up shortly. We can look at the 1 month. Okay, so 1 month, it looks like it's on a down swoop. 6 months, okay, we're going up and down. We look at year and 5 year. These are the Tesla stocks. But You want to talk about the Model Y that's coming out, Kendra?
I do. It's supposed to be unveiled on March 14th.
Yeah.
He had I guess Elon Musk had originally made a joke about it being released on the 15th for the Ides of March, but it's going to be the 14th.
Okay.
Actually. Apparently this Model Y is actually going to share about 75% of the parts with Model 3. So it's going to be, they're going to be able to use a lot of the same types of materials and parts. And they also said it's going to be 10% bigger, costs about 10% more, and it'll have slightly less range than the
So we're talking
Model
in 5
3.
days, they're going to unveil this thing here. So it's the 9th right now. So in 5 days, we get to see what it actually looks like. And I hope it looks cool. I mean, they do good things with design and, user interface. So I think that they'll be doing good. With the Model Y. Maybe that's why the stocks are up today for Tesla. So we covered SpaceX, we covered Tesla. I want to cover GM for a minute. This is on the other side of the spectrum. GM has been, a staple in American cars.
Cybersecurity,
Cybersecurity. Gotta love these ads. And now they're closing a lot of their plants. I think 4 plants we're talking about. GM is no longer making the Chevy Volt, the Chevy Cruze, the Impala, the Cadillac CT6, and the XTS, and also the Buick LaCrosse. They're no longer making them. They're saying that people don't want to buy sedans anymore. They kind of want those crossover SUVs and whatnot. What do you think about that?
I wanted a Volt.
Did you?
I did.
A lot of people did when it came out. I think it was a very exciting time to look at that. But now GM is cutting a lot of jobs and cutting the Chevy Volt in favor of maybe just fully electric coming up shortly.
Well, that's a good move. It's, especially right now with the whole industry moving towards electric vehicles and the revolution of new types of vehicles. They're a little behind, actually. They should have jumped on this earlier.
With the closing of the plants, they're going to lose about 8,000 jobs, a 15% reduction in the workforce. Some workers are doing transfers. It sounds like a pretty good transfer deal, to be honest with you. They're paying them up to $30,000 to transfer, right?
Yeah, about a third of the workers that are working currently in the plants that are closing have already accepted deals for transfer. And like you said, it's at $30,000. Like, that's a year's wage for some people.
Michigan's getting hit. Warren, Michigan, the plant is closing. Lordstown, Ohio, also in Detroit, their Hamtramck plant. It's the last GM factory in Detroit, the last General Motors factory in Detroit, and that's closing in 2020. GM's now being sued by the union, the auto workers union, and we will see what happens with that. But, on one hand, you got everybody coming after Elon for saying you're going to say you're going to produce more cars than you are, and then we want to file things. Yeah, and we're losing a lot of jobs here. So, I mean, I support American made. I support, the auto industry. But I guess cutbacks need to be made. And, of course, these communities are going to be impacted major, right? We're talking about a lot of jobs. And they say, like, automotive industry, one worker, supplies 4 jobs to other people, whether it be them eating out, traveling, going on vacation, spending their money at retail. So this is going to affect, and it's going to trickle down the economy here. GM shutting so many plants, 8,000 jobs going by the wayside, yeah.
And the union is citing the fact that their agreement says that it prohibits the company from closing or idling any plant during the term of the collective bargaining agreement. So they're basically saying that because you guys are closing these plants, it says in the contract that you wouldn't. But I don't see how this I don't see how this would really be helpful in the long run, because if they can't afford to keep those plants open, it's going to hurt everybody in the long run anyway.
Yeah.
So restructure me.
Well, I guess
give me
so.
the transfer.
$30,000 for a transfer isn't so bad. Other people are still waiting on their transfer. Let's ask Reddit. Are you ready to ask Reddit?
I want to know.
Okay, people love these questions. This one's not safe for work. So, hide the kids, hide the wife. You've just finished having sex. What do you say to make it awkward? This week's Ask Reddit. I think I got a double dose of Ask Reddit this week, so we'll have 2. Yeah. Sex is good, and then a simple phrase afterwards could ruin it. But I think, one time I said thank you after sex.
That's not bad. That's appreciative.
It's polite, but it's really thank you.
How old were you?
I was younger.
Okay.
I was younger.
All right.
But I didn't know it. I was thank you. And that was amazing. And I love the number 1 answer. Okay. Would you mind filling out this online survey? What do you say after sex to make it awkward? Kendra, you kind of live in awkward. Do you have any stories you want to share?
No, none about
Okay.
awkward things that were said after sex. Thank goodness.
Good. So what did you want to read here? Do you want to read one? I like this one. Can I read it?
Yes.
Okay, I'll read this one because I have a clip. I tend to do the Hank Hill whoa around the house. My wife thought it'd be funny to do that when I finished. I didn't do it that night, but a week later to catch her off guard. It was some of the most intimate sex we've had in a long time, so I tensed up, squeezed the sheets, curled my toes, threw my head back, and gave the most propane-filled whoa. I don't know what he's talking about, so I looked it up. You want to know the Hank Hill blah that he's talking about after sex? He said completely ruined the intimacy, and she laughed for a long time. 10 out of 10. Here we go. Here's the Hank Hill blah they let out after sex.
Listen, there's been a mistake.
Let's hear
I
another
sent
one.
you my payment on
Some people do a really good Hank Hill impression, and that would make it awkward after sex.
I like this one. A woman says, just last year I took a guy's virginity and didn't know until after the fact, and he told me that didn't feel as good as people make it out to be. Thanks, dude.
That didn't feel good as oh, wow.
Well, I love the response. No vagina can compete with the iron grip of a frantically masturbating virgin.
Oh, gross, gross. This one, to make sex awkward afterwards, help yourself to any prize from the middle shelf. What is it, like the dentist and they got a treasure chest?
No, I was thinking like the fair and how they have the best prizes on the top shelf, middle shelf.
I don't think anybody ever really said that. Let's do two more. I actually had a guy say, if my parents could see me now. Obviously pretty happy with what he did. And
there was another one from a guy who had, when he was a teenager, they had done some intimacy in the car.
Yep, got it right here.
They were around the block from her house, and they were on their way back, and he just didn't feel good. And as he was thinking about everything, he accidentally blew a stop sign. So he said out loud, "That was a mistake."
He was talking about blowing the stop sign. The poor girl hopped out of the car. He never saw her again. That's funny. That was a mistake. I do that a lot. I'm just thinking about something else, and it just comes out.
Wrong time.
Okay. Ask Reddit part 2. Let's move it up. Okay. Let's make it a little more safe for work, shall we?
This is totally kid safe in my
Totally
opinion.
safe for work. What unique game you played as a child? How great were the games you made up as a kid?
The
By the
best.
way, weren't they? I had 5 kids in my family. We made up games all the time. It's like, which one do I choose? But I got one. I want to hear yours first.
Well, I only had a brother, just the one, and we were in
That's
the
all you
middle of nowhere with no like neighborhood kids or anything like that. My brother and I used to play something we'd call Power. So it was like Power Rangers and X-Men combined.
How do you play?
Well, you'd go around and you'd fight all the invisible bad guys with your powers.
Oh my god!
And you were doing like
that's
fake
just
karate
that's not even
kicks.
is that a game?
Dude,
That's just kids playing. Kids do that.
Dude, we spent, hours, days, weeks playing Power.
I
Like
think
that was what we did.
Okay, all
was
right.
play Power.
That's why your imagination's so powerful, I guess. You know, kids after they saw Frozen, I had the nieces, and they always tried to like shoot the ice and stuff like that. You know, magic. I think kids do that. It's not really a game, Kendra. A game has rules, and you can win or lose.
Oh, we won and lost.
I'm
Because
sure
then
you
my
did.
brother and I, because we were little kids, we would argue about whose power was better.
We had a game called War, and we didn't imagine stuff. We would shut off the lights in the basement, and there was a line drawn in the middle, and you took stuff and you threw it across the room. We had kid boxing gloves and stuffed animals and pillows, and you would just try to hit somebody. And I've seen stars. It was pitch black down there, and we're running around, and just something hits you in the face. You just ping, just like the cartoons. Boxing gloves, stuffed animals, things affect you when you're a kid.
Yeah.
You get these, the eyes on the stuffed animals?
Yeah.
Yeah, you
The
catch
little
one.
buttons.
Well, you catch one of those being whipped across the room in the wrong way. Yeah, that sticks out. Just a little, it hurts. The
Yeah.
little eyes on your stuffed animal become lethal weapons.
Well, my brother and I weren't throwing things at each other.
Oh, it was called War. And then we had War 2, which had different rules, but like War was the game we played. We also set up a couple buckets and some makeshift basketball in it, like just buckets on the ground, and we throw plush. It was great.
It's just
beautiful.
basketball, AJ.
Let's see what the internet says. I know it's just basketball. We made up a game called Camera Tag, basically hide and seek, but it would have to be in the dark, and you have to have a camera. If you spot someone, you have to take a picture of them with the flash on, and then if they're in the picture, they get caught and they're out. There you go. You can find the old SD card they write with some dark, creepy pictures of kids. Sounds pretty cool.
Well, and they said, somebody else commented and said, back in my day, we would have had to wait a week to find out who won.
This guy says he takes his dad's snuff can. Are you familiar with the snuff can?
Like it's dip or chew.
Basically, they would take it full of rocks and tape it shut. Then we all face the same way as a designated person threw the can way out in the open in the pasture at night. All the players set out to find it and picked it up and made it back to the finish line. It's kind of like kick the can. The rocks were audible if shaken. If you were able to tackle the runner before he crossed the line, no point and rethrow. First 5 wins.
Or
first to 5 wins.
Or first to break a bone loses.
Yeah, you ever play kick the can? You know how that works?
No.
It's a good one. It's classic. It's nice. It's like tag, but you like if you're free, you go and kick the can and then you're good. That's cool. That's how you win. That's how you get out of the tag or the hide and seek.
I didn't know that.
You run, kick the can. Yeah. And then somebody's got to yell, kick the can or something like that. Me and my sister would play color copy, where one of us would draw a picture and the other would follow along in their paper. They inevitably both be shitty. What do you do? I don't even understand this. One would draw a picture, the other would follow along on their paper.
So she kind of says it's like the wine games or the wine and painting events that happen nowadays, where everybody in the group gets one picture and they all do the same picture.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what it was. It was like a game of comparing whose drawing was better.
That's
I guess.
pretty cool.
I like the next one. It's a camp counselor talking about a game called Screaming Toes. Apparently what they do is they get in a circle and each individual child picks somebody in the group's toes to stare at. Somebody counts to 3, and on 3, you look at the person whose toes you were staring at, and if the person is looking at your toes too, you both scream, and you're out.
That sounds like a fun camera game. Or not camera game, but a fun camp game.
Camp game with a bunch of little kids, I bet.
Yeah, I guess so. Each kid independently decides whose toes they will stare at. Yeah, it's so easy. Bike hockey sound cool. Baki or bike hockey. Even though only one person was on a bike, there were 3 of us, so the game was played 2v1. The 2 people are on rollerblades with hockey sticks. The one person is on a bike. The object of the game is shoot the ball between the wheels of the bike. If we got through it, we got a point. If he blocked it with his foot, he got a point. We had a 50-yard stretch of our street we'd play, and we actually, they used to play 5-minute periods. At work, I set up a bucket, and we had this thing called coaster toss. And every time there was downtime, we would toss coasters into the bucket. Kind of like throwing a deck of cards into a hat. And then we bet money that we made that day. So at work, we're betting money about throwing coasters into the hat. We were young and dumb. It's not a good way to like work 8 hours and come out empty.
Well, that's speaking of empty. I used to do the same thing with the empties at my parents' store because back in the early '90s there were no bottle sorting machines.
Oh, so you got a good shot on you.
So yeah, I could shoot empties all the way from the other side of the freaking back room because I was so bored.
Kendra's athletic ability in shooting. I have to put that to the test.
I can't shoot baskets, but give me a box and an empty can, and I could probably make it.
Okay, well these guys are making it. New tech right here. You heard of 3D printing?
That newfangled printing device.
This is 3D printing all at once. I don't know why Rachel Ray's showing up. It's an ad. Okay, so brand new 3D printing. 3D printing right now, layer by layer. Now they've developed this it materializes all at once. It's done through a series of mirrors and heating up this goo, but you're able to do shapes. I guess with the 3D printing, it's a lot of jagged edges and lines. This you can do more of a sculpture. As here they do the thinker, but it's kind of a new technology.
Yeah, and it's not it's not layer by layer. And they did talk about a different type of 3D printer that uses a similar gel and a similar light. But the difference is that machine was also using a layer by layer system, and this one it's shooting the lights all at the time, so it kind of just appears. Yeah.
So here's the layer by layer systems, and you can see the thinker right there. Cool thing about this is when it shoots light, it can also shoot it around objects. They can make handles for screwdrivers, but it's dipped in basically this type of rosin, and then it heats up, and then they drain the liquid. And there you have it. It looks like Star Trek. It reminds me of Star Trek.
Yes, when it comes out of the cabinet, and then there's the food right there that they just ordered from the computer.
It materializes before our eyes.
They had said that the advantage of being able for it to print around other things is good because they haven't been able to have, like, that's been a problem with the other 3D printers, is they haven't been able to print around another object.
Yeah, it's kind of janky. I mean, I don't know how specific this is, but it looks kind of scuffed. But they'll get better as they do. As the robots have gotten better. as you and I have gotten better, like fine wines with age. Hopefully this technology will get better as well.
It's only a matter of time.
I think so. Time's all we have right now. So fleeting. And lastly, we're going to leave you with this. How about this? It was a great... We didn't do a movie review this week.
We did not.
Busy week. It's okay. The movie review will be back next week.
It will.
In full force. But you've seen people chug beers.
Yes.
Yeah. I had a friend that could do it really well. I've seen beer chugs. I've never seen a chug like this. Check it out. The Ozarka water right here. This guy's in class. They're in a lecture.
Looks like high school.
It's the fastest way to drink a bottle of water. And sometimes you're thirsty. Look at him. He already knows what's up. He grabs the bottle of water. Watch this. Watch this. Goodbye. And he crunches it all into his mouth. Opens up his esophagus, I guess. And it's gone. Instant. Just in one fell swoop. Have you ever chugged a beer, Kendra? I can't imagine you shotgunning a beer. Are you able to do that?
I think the first time I've ever shotgunned anything was when I started work at my current work. They had a beer shtick that you could, on Fridays, if you wanted to partake in the...
That's the first time you've shotgunned a beer was with a beer stick?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. And I still like struggled.
It's kind of like a thing, and it's got an open top, so you don't have to like crack it in the can.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, maybe we'll get you trained this summer.
I don't think so.
It's a young man's game, shotgunning a beer.
I'm not interested, thank you.
All right, well, that's going to wrap up for today. I got to go do a show, so we have lots of things going on today. So thank you for joining us. Back at the regular schedule right now. We were right on at 2 o'clock today. So thank you for joining me today, Kendra.
Thank you for putting this all together, AJ.
No problem. And you can catch us where?
You can catch us on iTunes at Shoot the Messenger, Spotify, also look for Shoot the Messenger, YouTube, shootthemessenger.net. We also have a
YouTube,
Patreon.
Shoot the Messenger podcast.
Yeah,
that's the quickest way to find it on YouTube, yeah.
We also have a Patreon page if you would like to support us that way. As we mentioned earlier, we tend to get demonetized for reasons.
It's not where we're making our money anyway. This is like really great practice, and it's fun doing a show every single week.
Absolutely.
Where it goes, we don't know. It's up to you. So thanks for joining us this week. My name is AJ, and I have my friend
Kendra.
And listen, can we get out smooth this week? Do you think so?
Well,
later.
Bye.
I hear the music, but we're still here. Okay. All right. Later.
Till next time.
Till next time, kids.